In this video, I'm sharing with you my experience as a spectator at the TCS New York City Marathon. Stay tuned, I'll be right back. Welcome back to The Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Christy and I'm flying solo today. On our channel, we share with you our experience and our journey to learn to live healthy on a budget. So today's video, I'm sharing with you my experience as a spectator at the TCS New York City Marathon. To be honest, I don't think that spectator really defines what I do, and I know that there's probably a word out there for it because I know I'm not the only person who has ever done this, but it's more like runner supporter. And I'll explain that. So if you are new to our channel, go back and check out this video. I'll put it right here, where Joel explains his health journey, and you actually learn from it that the New York City Marathon was his 5th marathon. We have had to travel for 3 of those marathons. One was in Chicago, one was in Utah, I can't remember the name of the town at the moment, and now New York City. And I think that it's more like a supporter because you're actually going with them to travel for these events, and you're there to help make sure that they have somebody that they know is in the audience supporting them. So you're not, in my opinion, you're not just a spectator, you're actually like traveling to support them. So I call it runner supporter. If there's another name for that, let me know down in the comments below. In this video, I thought I would share with you what it is actually like to travel with somebody who is running a marathon and to be their runner supporter. First of all, one of the cool parts about being a spectator that's traveling for a marathon is that you can make it a vacation too. So we went a couple of days early so that we could do a few touristy things. And so I'm going to insert a video of some of the things that we did on our day 1 there. You'll see us standing in front of a lot of famous places, but to be honest, we were on a tight budget. So we only paid to go into Yankee Stadium. The rest of it, we only took pictures in. I will also preface this by saying this was our 3rd time to be in New York City, so some of these places we had been to before. So we didn't actually pay to do the NBC studio tour because we already have done that before in the past. But anyway, that is, let's insert day 1 here.
Hey guys, here we are live in New York City. This is day 1. This is our tour, one of our touristy days. I know yesterday we were actually here, but we only got in at 4 o'clock. Only had time to go to the expo. So today is actually day 1. Going to do some touristy things today. There's Christy right there holding our Starbucks. Where's our first stop? Woo! Times Square, baby. We're here. All right. We'll be back to check in with y'all throughout the day. Say bye. See you later. Have a great day.
Day 2, we actually started out the day at a thank you breakfast that was provided by the charity organization that Joel ran for, Team for Kids. And if you check out Joel's video last week that was on his New York City Marathon experience, you'll get more information about how Joel ran with this charity, and that was actually how he got into the New York City Marathon, was by running with this charity. So be sure to check that video out. After that, we actually rode the subway for a little while. I actually found that hilarious that that is what we did. But like Joel loves riding the subway. He actually went to say like that's one of his favorite things is figuring out all the trains that you should take to get to wherever you want to go. So it's just like a challenge to him to figure it out. But honestly, why we did it was not just so that he could get a kick out of figuring that out. We actually rode the subway because before we came, Joel had mapped out all these places that he wanted me to go along the marathon route to cheer him on. And he wanted to make sure that I knew what I was doing. So he was taking me on these subway trains to make sure that I knew which ones to get on and what time and where to get off and then how far to walk and all that kind of stuff like that. It actually turned out to be a great thing that we did this because we actually realized that Joel didn't realize how far I would have to walk from the subway to where they were actually running, and realized that there was actually no way I could actually make some of the trains. So we had to cut out, I think it was 2 stops that we cut out. So it took it from 5 to 3 places where I would actually catch him. So that was actually a good thing that we rode the subway. Now the breakfast didn't end till like 10:30 or 11, and then we rode the subway for, I think it was like 3 or 3.5 hours, just to make sure that I had mapped out the routes, and then him like actually walking me to wherever the marathon runners would run, and then walking back, and you know, that kind of stuff. It took us about 3.5 hours to go through that whole process. It was about 3 o'clock, so we had decided that we needed to eat something, and we would make it like a dinner, lunch/dinner, since it was like 3:30. We actually decided to go down to Bleecker Street, to John's Pizzeria, which was highly recommended by one of our Instagram followers. And so we went down there and we had dinner at John's, lunch or dinner, I don't know, anyway, at John's Pizzeria. And then we took pictures at the friend's apartment. You'll see that, I'll put the picture right here. Our favorite TV show ever. And then we actually got back on the train, rode up and got out at Grand Central Station and took some pictures in there, which I'll put in some pictures there. And if we look exhausted, we are. And here I'm gonna put a picture of just that time. It was a lot, you know, like just going and riding the subway and getting out and walking from location to location is kind of exhausting. And we also knew that Joel was running the next morning and that we needed to stop where we were and just get a good night's sleep. So that was what we did on day 2. No trip to New York City would be complete without mentioning the food, right? So you're gonna see some pictures of the places that we went to. Yes, we went to Chick-fil-A. We do have a connection to Chick-fil-A, and that is actually the first Chick-fil-A that ever opened in Manhattan. And so we went there for lunch one day, and since it was extremely cold, I got some chicken tortilla soup. How could I not? We also went to Dos Caminos in Times Square. That was recommended to an Instagram follower as well. And we had she actually recommended one that was near the High Line, but we weren't close to the High Line at the time, so we went to the one at Times Square. As I mentioned, we had the TFK breakfast, and we also went to John's Pizzeria, as I mentioned before. While we were on the trip, on the day of the marathon, I took several videos along the route of, I called them spectator logs, and I'm going to put those in now. And the first one was before I left the hotel room that morning. Good morning. It is Sunday morning of the New York City Marathon. Joel is already at the tent waiting with the other runners. As a spectator, you're not allowed to go with them. So we have just mapped out some places for me to try to catch him as he runs by. I'm sure I'll see him among the other 50,000 other people that are running. But anyway, so I'm going to be leaving in a few minutes to start catching different trains. And we mapped out all the places. He gave me northeast, southwest, but I told him, I said, you need to tell me, like, when I leave the subway, do I turn right or do I turn left? Because that's what works for me. So I will be taking you along different places as we go. And, you know, hopefully we'll catch him along the route. If not, we'll be just seeing a whole bunch of runners go by and not know which one's him. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay. Spectator log 2, I guess. So I tried to catch him at the first stop we planned, and I missed the train. And so I missed that one. So I caught him at the second one. I'll insert that here. And now I'm headed to where we're gonna meet after the finish. Okay, bye. Now I don't think that you can actually do a spectator video without mentioning one of the crucial things that happens at every running event for a spectator, and that's trying to find a bathroom. So here's a picture of me standing in line behind, I don't know how many people it was, at a Starbucks. I would recommend that if you are ever in that situation, download the app called Sit or Squat. It tells you all the places that will actually let you use their restrooms, and if they're cleanish or not even kind of cleanish. I don't know if that's a word, but that's my word for it. Spectator log 3. Joel wanted me to wait for him at, still can't see it. Oh, there we go. Columbus Circle. You know, only a couple of thousand other people have thought of that too. So it's very crowded. He is probably about 3 miles away from finishing at this point. And then he also have to walk out of Central Park. So I'm gonna try to find a spot to sit down and read on my Kindle until it's time, because it'll be another 20, 30, 45 minutes. I don't know. But spectator life. Okay, talk to y'all later. Bye. At that point, I waited for him probably another hour or hour, 15 minutes, something like that. It took him a good while to get out of Central Park. They had them walk a good while, which is good because they need to keep moving. It actually is bad if they immediately stop a marathon and stop moving, because their joints will, stiffen up. So it was good that he had to continue walking, but it was like another hour and 15 minutes. After he got back, then we got on the subway and went straight back to the hotel room. And that's kind of what it's like to be a spectator. You're going from one spot to the other to cheer them on, to try to get a little video of them as they're walking by or running by. And you know, just being there for them at the finish, so that if they need someone to prop up on, they can do that. Just somebody who's there to help carry some of their stuff. Like he immediately, they gave him a bag with stuff in it, you know, like food and things, and he immediately handed it to me to get it off of himself. So, you know, that's kind of like what you are there for, is just to make it a little bit easier on them. So I hope that you kind of enjoyed seeing what it was like to be the spectator or the runner supporter. Again, if you know if there's a different name than what I'm calling it, comment below and tell me. Also, if you've ever been a spectator for a marathon, tell me about your experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them. In the meantime, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the little bell so that you won't miss on future content. We post every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday is our grocery haul day, and Thursday will be other kinds of videos, either debt freedom related, health, fitness, or goal motivation. Also check out one of these videos that's scrolling somewhere around the screen, wherever I get to fit it in when I stop the video. And be sure to stay tuned in case I have bloopers at the end. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. After a week pizza restaurant, breakfast didn't end until like 10:30 or like 10:30 or